The New York Times ran a piece today called "Why is Marriage Less Attractive Than Ever?" Is marriage less attractive than ever? Today we're going to chat to Sophie Anderson, our research coordinator and data analyst. And Sophie, is there a sense of doom around relationships in our culture right now? With the New York Times talking about a malaise that women are feeling about relationships today.
I would say there is to the extent that women are often experiencing greater difficulty dating, especially with the growing prevalence of online dating. And the impact of online dating on the culture is complex, but one way that I think it is affecting the cultural attitude towards relationships is that it dramatically inflates the ratio of possible partners to actual viable matches, making it seem like it's harder than ever to find a partner. But in reality, what I think is happening is that the dating pool is being dramatically widened, for example, to your whole city rather than just the immediate spheres in which you operate. And instead of creating more and more viable matches, as is the hope, people are just experiencing more and more disappointment because their particular interests don't widen with the dating pool. They remain interested in only a very few, which seems even fewer when there are hundreds or even thousands of options that still don't qualify. But this has more to do with the pursuit of relationships and less to do with how women feel once they are actually in relationships. Um, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, the Times claims that marriage is less attractive than ever and seemingly less important for women's well-being. Is that true?
Actually, the data point in the opposite direction. Married women are 80% less likely to be poor than single women, and married women have almost 10 times the assets of single women once they're in their 50s as they head to retirement. So there's really no question that marriage still matters for women's financial well-being.
Hmm. Well, what about the idea, as one might argue, that the rise of single women more readily allows women to explore other avenues that are satisfying or more satisfying or lead to a happier, more fulfilled life? I think avenues outside of marriage.
Well, actually, we see that married women report more meaningful lives, less lonely lives, and happier lives today. The Institute for Family Studies just released a report on this by the noted psychologist Jean Twenge, and it shows that married women are about half as likely to be lonely. And married women, especially married moms, are much more likely to be very happy, in fact, almost twice as likely as single childless women. And they also enjoy a huge premium when it comes to physical touch, which Twenge reminds us in the report is very closely tied to emotional well being. And what's also fascinating and sobering is that new research being done at the IFS indicates that the happiness gap is growing between unmarried and married women today. So, from a data perspective, and contrary to the times, I'd say that marriage looks more attractive than ever to women who are interested in forging lives that are less lonely and more meaningful and happier.
Very well. Thank you, Sophie, for joining us for this fact check. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Chris.